I guess, the most typical challenges that you run on a daily basis as a data scientist?
How many? Okay. Let's start at, I think the biggest challenge, like I said, is clean data. The second biggest challenge is alignment of stakeholders. As a data scientist, as a data and applied scientist, you're not almost always, I guess, in our team, you're not going to be the person who is also doing the data analysis and who's also then responsible for executing the insights to make sure that the business grows based on the data analysis you do. That's a different team. And so if you're not able to align the other business stakeholders to the kind of analysis that you're doing, and if they don't understand the extremely complex words you're using of data science that you did, it's probably going to be hard for them to believe what you're doing. So I think one of the challenges is to kind of, I don't want to call it dumb it down, but really be able to tell a story that aligns with your business stakeholder, that they understand, while still underneath the hoods, being able to, sorry about that, being able to do the complex analytics that's needed. And so that's the one challenge. And the second, like I talk about, data cleaning.
Okay, great. That makes perfect sense. So those are the challenges. And can you tell us a little bit more about, I guess, what you like the most about your job today? What really, gets you excited, to go to the office when you go to the office?
Yeah. So at at least in my current job, I'm constantly, it's slightly unhealthy, but I'm constantly, like, even after work, if there's a data problem I'm trying to solve, I'm constantly still thinking about, like, how to solve it. In my mind, it's going on in the background, which kind of tells me that that's when I know I'm enjoying the work, versus I'm not enjoying my work every single day. And I don't think there's any single job exists that you're enjoying every single day. If you do, go get it. But in my current job, I think most of the days I feel good about coming to work when I'm completely aligned with my manager and with my stakeholders. So whenever you're selecting a team or a company, make sure you're completely aligned with a manager. They're selecting you as much as you're selecting them. So make sure it's a manager you can work with. It's someone you can align on the kind of projects that you work on. If it's a problem that I'm doing that does not have a lot of business impact, I'm not going to enjoy it. So this is another thing that you want to check during your interview process, that what is the kind of business problems you're going to be working on? And is it just going to be analytics for fun, or is it something that's going to actually have an impact on the growth of a business? So what excites me today is if I am able to do an analysis properly, and if I'm able to give insights to the right stakeholders, they're going to be able to make thousands of millions or whatever business impact their team size is, they're able to make that impact. And then I feel like I had a part to play in making that impact. The other thing that gets me excited, and this is something that could be completely different for different people, so this is something you need to know about yourself, whether you'd like it or not, is that I work on different projects. Because I'm not associated with a single product. I'm not, like, for instance, in marketing, I was for 2.5 years, I was on a single product, and I had, like, completely in-depth knowledge about that continued to build. I was the subject matter expertise for that. But if you're in data science and you're working with multiple different stakeholders, you're not exactly an SME on the product, but you're an SME on multiple projects and the multiple data analytics. So if you're a person who likes to be a single product person, which a lot of people are, then you're probably either looking at product marketing or product management, where you can actually do the analytics and then you can make the impact on the product yourself. So if I get bored of a product, I can project, I can go switch to another data science project. That's how I look at it, and that's what keeps me interested, because I'm answering different questions every day.
That's great. That's actually a very good segue to my next question, which is essentially the different career path that you have as a data scientist. Whether, I guess it's like you said, like you started, answering whether it's something that you enjoy doing and you want to move up, or if it's not something that you enjoy so much and you want to make, you want to make a change. What are the different options?
Yeah, so you do, and this is an advice that I got from a lot of people when I was moving into data science. Because when I asked them the questions who've been in data science for a while, when I asked them the question, where do you see yourself heading? The reason I cannot answer that question for myself is because I've just started on this journey. So I haven't done any career change after this, but I can tell from other people's experiences that it's kind of a narrow path. If you're a data scientist, you're kind of dedicating yourself to a path of at least being in the data field, which is a narrow but a pretty exciting path considering the direction the technology is heading, considering the direction that almost all companies are eventually going to need to understand their data. It's a pretty exciting path. But what that path looks like is you're an individual contributor, you're doing the analysis yourself. You can either then eventually go to higher studies and go into research, or you could continue to build a bigger team where you're managing a team of data scientists, you're managing a team of data analytics, and then eventually you get to the point where you can build your own data analytics team for a company that hasn't had a data analytics team. So and I think that's the most exciting part, is we think that data is everywhere, but a lot of companies are on that journey yet. So depends upon what excites you, how long do you want to stay an individual contributor, become a manager, or start your own data team in a company that's never done it, or in a part of a company that hasn't done it yet. What paths do you want to take? The other path I've seen a few of the data scientists around me go towards is products related to data. So they moved to product management teams where they're actually responsible for building a product that is related to data, so they understand what goes into a product that's used for data analysis. So that's another path I've seen other people do. More people are in the former path than the latter path. But I think, again, if you're able to make a career switch to data science, you pretty easily should be able to use the same recipe to make a switch to something else if you think that eventually you need to be somewhere else.
Okay, great. Thank you. Just looking at our channel here just to see if there is any more question. We're actually approaching the top of the hour. So is there any one, I guess based on what we've covered so far, is there any last advice, any tips, anything that we haven't covered that you would like to, I guess, share with our audience here?
Yeah, I think there was one question we had talked about earlier in the email, which was R versus Python. A lot of data scientists, when they're starting on the journey, they are Googling or Binging constantly, what should I learn, R or Python? It's a pretty contentious debate. So without getting into the debates of what language is better, because I really think both of the languages have their own strengths, I want to kind of make you aware of what our team's mixtures look like. There are folks in our team who are pretty in-depth knowledgeable in Python. There are folks like me who are more comfortable with R and who started the journey on R. There's a lot of people who kind of do a pretty end-to-end analysis in SQL and Excel, and they're able to get a pretty good same amount of job done. So I think I can talk about why I picked R, and this is like I said, totally personal upon what is the kind of language that you're comfortable learning. I learned R because, not coming from a developer background, it actually felt easier for me to pick up in the way that the language has been built. So that was easier for me to pick up. And there was a pretty good Twitter community that is very supportive of each other, which I loved about R, and I fell in love with it. So I've just been on that path. Eventually, I feel like I would need to digress and make sure that I'm giving a sufficient amount of learning to Python as well if I want to continue to grow in a data science space. So I would say start with the language and then try out the other language as well, see what you're comfortable with and see what you want to go in depth in. There's a lot of unhealthy debate that I'm not really privy to in that.
We'll leave that for another
Yeah.
webinar. It sounds like it's going to be a long discussion.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you so much.